Boo-hoo Schumer breaks down, whines that Trump didn't consult him on Supreme Court pick. It looks like someone needs a box of Kleenex and a shoulder to cry on as Chuck Schumer breaks down and complains because it seems like President Donald Trump didn't consult with the senator before making his Supreme Court justice announcement. The complaint seems to go further, as though Trump didn't confide in any of the Democrats before making the nominee for Brett Kavanaugh, who faced a few measly protesters as Trump called his name. Chuck Schumer might be a major face of the Democratic Party, but that doesn't mean the president needs to ask his permission or for his opinion on anything. If the president, whomever the president is at the time, does not care to speak with someone in particular, especially someone who probably won't give any supportive or constructive info, then why would they talk to them? Does it say it anywhere in the rulebook that President Donald Trump has to talk to Chuck Schumer or anyone else before announcing his nominee for the Supreme Court justice? Hours before President Trump was to name his second Supreme Court justice nominee, Senator Chuck Schumer was whining on the Senate floor. Trending, breaking, $1.80 bill of Soros money just intercepted, he could officially go to prison for years. The Senate Minority Leader had his feelings hurt because Trump had not consulted him, or any Democrats, in his Supreme Court pick. In the old days, the president would consult with Republicans and Democrats in the Senate on a qualified judge and then, after careful deliberation, nominate a jurist that could get bipartisan support, the New York Democrat said. What we have here is the exact opposite, he added. The president has gone too far out of the mainstream, hard-right groups, the Heritage Foundation and the Federalist Society, and asked them, not the Senate, to advise and consent on a Supreme Court nomination. Schumer opined about the finalists' pro-life stances and criticized one of Trump's top legal advisors. No one has been more dedicated to overturning Roe v. Wade than Leonard Leo, he said. Whomever the president selects tonight, Schumer warned, if that nominee is from the pre-approved list selected by Leo and the Heritage Foundation, everyone ought to understand what it means for the freedom of women to make their own health care decisions and for the protection for Americans with pre-existing conditions. Those rights will be gravely threatened, he concluded. Democrats face an uphill battle blocking any Trump nominee without the filibuster rule, but they are focused on maintaining their 49-member caucus while attempting to win over at least 2 Republican senators. Minutes after the president announced Brett Kavanaugh as his Supreme Court nominee Monday night, Schumer was geared for battle. I will oppose Judge Kavanaugh's nomination with everything I have, and I hope a bipartisan majority will do the same, he said, according to The Hill. The stakes are simply too high for anything less. If Chuck wants to whine, then let him do it on Nancy Pelosi's shoulder. Maybe they can call Maxine Waters and scrounge up enough feelings and emotions to get a crying sessions going while President Trump makes America great again. About a year ago it was Chuck Schumer who threatened to block President Trump when it came to making a SCOTUS pick. This is him on video. After that, Chucky goes on video to suggest that women's health is at stake, but many others disagree. To make Chuck's crying session last a little bit longer, he's now calling for an investigation into Brett Kavanaugh, according to Guardian News. The Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, is calling for an investigation into Donald Trump's Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh. Judge Kavanaugh's long track record of partisan politics comes with a long paper trail, Schumer said. The Senate must now be able to have access and time to adequately review all documents associated with Judge Kavanaugh. Does this guy ever look up from his little boy podium? It's like someone else wrote all the nonsense he's saying and then he's reading it from a card. Or maybe he writes this gibberish and then can't remember it, or doesn't really believe it, so he has to force himself to read it. If there's one thing that I know, it's that Chuck Schumer is a terrible speaker and Donald